Today, we are going to do a comparison of Microsoft List versus Planner. We will first dive into some of the pros as well as the cons of both of these apps. And then we are going to take a look at one feature that seems to be overlooked in other videos. Hi, my name's Amy. Welcome to my channel. Let's nerd out. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is a side-by-side comparison of creating a plan as well as a list, as there are quite a few similarities. So in both cases, we can see that we can start off with a blank plan or a blank list. And in lists, there are also a couple of other options here, but we'll cover those in more detail a little bit later. And then we have a handful of templates. So I just want to highlight that with Planner, these are more broad topics for creating a plan. Whereas with lists, these are a little bit more detailed. So we have like issue tracker, travel requests, content scheduler versus project management, software development, and business plan. Let's go ahead and select the project management template as well as the work progress tracker as they sound comparable. Let's go ahead and select use template. We can give both of these a name. Now this next setting here is actually a new feature in Planner that is putting Planner and lists on the same playing field. So here we would add this to an existing group, but this is now optional. And previously, all plans needed to be assigned to an Office 365 group or a Microsoft team, whereas with lists, we were able to add this to your list, which would be saving it to your OneDrive, or you can assign it to a group as well. For the purpose of this video, let's go ahead and select the Vancouver flagship location and then create. First off is Planner. One of the biggest benefits of Planner is that it is plug and play, and we are now going to take a look at 6 features that can be classified as pros when choosing Planner over Microsoft Lists. Here we are within Planner, and we can see that there are some placeholder tasks within that template that we selected, which is such a great way to get things started. And then you can adjust these or add more tasks as you need fit to customize it to your needs. And if we go ahead and expand one of these task items, then we can see that there are some predefined fields here for each of these task cards, leading us to our first pro, which is Planner being plug and play. So for example, we have all of these labels here that are color coded and a great way for you to visualize your items. And we can even go ahead and rename these. So if we want, we can call that pink label admin. Next, we have some standard items such as bucket, progress, and priority, as well as the start and due date. And another great feature with Planner is that these can be defined as repeat or recurring tasks. As you would expect, we have some notes as well as some mini sub checklist items, the ability to add attachments, as well as to comment and collaborate, making all of this a nice cohesive area where you can manage all of the information for this one task item. The second pro are these predefined views at the top that are pre-built and ready for you to use, such as grid view, board view, chart view, or even schedule view to view all of your tasks in a calendar. And we all know how hard it is to stay on top of tasks. And with Planner, we have pre-built email notifications for when you have tasks coming up or are overdue. And these tasks can also easily be managed in the Assign to Me area of Planner and to do providing one cohesive area for your team members to manage their tasks. And a new feature in Planner is the ability for a planner to integrate with Loop. So if we just simply paste our URL from our Planner plan, then we can embed that as a Loop component into this Loop page. And the last pro of Planner that we will discuss is if we head up to this ellipses and select copy plan, then we can give our new plan a name and assign it to a group. So if we select the same group, which is the Vancouver flagship location, then if there are attachments in each of these items, then we are able to include those, as well as the priority, dates, description, those mini checklist items, as well as labels, or you can just deselect them all. So this just provides you with a lot of flexibility and customization when you copy a new plan, and we can see all of those placeholder tasks are in place. Now that we've taken a look at some of the pros to Microsoft Planner, there are three key disadvantages to using Planner over Microsoft Lists. The first disadvantage that we are going to look at for Planner is on the assignment of tasks. So if we select this task card, then we can see that I can easily assign myself, which is perfect. However, if we want to assign somebody that is outside of this 365 group, so outside of this Vancouver flagship location team, then we can add them as members here, but that is going to give them access to all of the documents and all of the information within this team. So it's sort of an all or nothing, which is a disadvantage to this feature. Second con refers to customization. So we saw how, as a pro, that all of these tasks came with these predefined fields. So it's very plug and play and ready for you to go. But the downside is that we have a limited customization. So for example, this labels section, we saw how we can edit this here. And this bucket column are the only ones that we can edit and customize to our needs. Whereas, for example, this progress, if we wanted to change this to a, canceled status or on hold status, then we are not able to do that. We are only limited to not started, in progress, or completed. Same with the priority column as well. The last con that we are going to take a look at is how each of these tasks are standalone. So we can see here how all of this information on this task card pertains to this task, but it is double fold because none of these tasks are dependent on each other. So for example, if you wanted to, only start this review progress task once the document scope management plan is complete, there's no way to define that dependency. Now, if you have Planner Premium, then that's a different story, but that is going to be an additional cost to you. Additionally, if you wanted to, for example, link this task item to a task card in another plan to pull information or make it dependent on something else, then that is not possible either. And we are going to see that point come full circle in just a moment when we dive into lists. Now that we've taken a look at some of the pros as well as the cons of Microsoft Planner, let's dive into Microsoft Lists and how it compares to Planner. To start things off, we are going to take a look at 6 key features that we can classify as advantages when choosing Microsoft Lists over Planner. And hey, if you are enjoying this video, then please consider hitting that like button. It really helps my video get traction. Here we are within Lists, and when we selected that template, the next setup is this prompt here, which is to add a due date reminder. Now, this is an attempt from Microsoft to build in some of that notification features that we saw in Planner, as List doesn't come with that out of the box. But we're going to dive into all of that in just a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and skip this feature and we can move on. Also to note right out of the box, that list template only came with these placeholder columns. There was no predefined information, which is no biggie because you can see here that I've just gone ahead and added some of those in. Now, the first benefit, which is likely the biggest benefit of Lists over Planner, is that Lists is so customizable. Starting off with this description column, the content that I've added here pertains to those mini checklist task items. So let's go ahead and rename this column checklist so that we can make them apples to apples. Next, this category column is comparable to the buckets that were in the other list. So let's go ahead and rename this buckets, and we will go ahead and rename each of these as well. And for this buckets column, if we go ahead and expand the more options, then we can see here that another feature with lists is the ability to have multiple selection for certain column types. I'm going to go ahead and toggle this off. Great, now that those are in there, let's go ahead and save this. Great, now that those are in there, we can edit this in grid view and easily update our buckets. All right, this is coming along, and we can see that we have that priority, start date, due date, as well as assigned to, but we're missing those labels or tags. Why don't we go ahead and add a new column? We can make this a choice column and call it approval. We can give each of those a name and click save. Once again, we'll edit this in grid view. Now, all of these updates that we've just done demonstrate just how customizable List is. Now, for example, this progress column, if we go to edit this column, then we can see all of these different choices that we have predefined for this list type, including a blocked or behind status. Whereas in Planner, we only had the not started, in progress, or completed. So we just have a lot more flexibility in adjusting these column types to fit our needs. We also have the ability to create custom views and save those views, as well as rules. We can create new rules based on if data changes and new items created or deleted, as well as custom reminders. The second pro that I wanted to highlight pertains to this assigned to column here. For example, if we open up this list item, then under assigned to, we can even define people that are outside of this office group to this list item. Now, this is going to be beneficial over Planner because Mike is not now given access to all of the contents of this site. He is simply assigned to this item. And additionally, we can even copy a link to this list item and share that with people that are outside of our office group for this list, as well as sharing this entire list. So this is a really great feature because we have a lot of ability to customize further here, and we can even define people that are outside of our organization. The next item that I wanted to discuss was some out of the box features. So for example, if we open up one of these list items, then similar to Planner, we are able to add comments and even tag our team members, as well as attach files to keep all of the contents pertaining to this list item in one cohesive area. The next advantage to List is a new feature with the ability to collect information to add to this list through forms. I have done a whole other video on this that I've included in the description, so feel free to check that out if you want to have a nice and easy way to collect data for your list. The fifth feature that I wanted to highlight was the ability for us to link our lists. So for example, we have this department status list listing each of our departments, and I want to pull information from this list into this progress tracker list. So let's go ahead and add a column. We will use a lookup column and we will call this department. From here, I will select the department status list and we will pull that title column. Let's go ahead and save our changes here. If you are interested in learning more about this feature, then I have included a link to another video in the description. Here we can see that new department column is added and all of those items within that list are populating. So this is a great way for you to harmonize your information as well as link your lists. The final pro of Microsoft Lists that I wanted to highlight was for dependencies. Now, this list is not a great example as each of these items are part of a bigger project. However, here we have a recruitment tracker list and each line item is per each candidate. And for example, we have rearranged these columns so that we have this offer letter will be dependent on the status of a second interview, for example. So in this situation, it's just a different way to organize your list. And then all of your list items and steps for each of your candidates are going to be included in one cohesive area rather than on different task cards in a plan or different items of a list. Now that we have taken a look at some of the advantages to using Microsoft List over Planner, there are 5 key disadvantages that I wanted to discuss. Now, it's important to note that I struggled to classify these as true disadvantages, and the reason is because a lot of these features are customizable, which is an advantage, but because they are customizable, it's going to be time consuming because you need to set them up, which is a disadvantage. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword, and it's really going to depend on your needs. So that being said, let's check it out. The first con that I wanted to highlight pertains to custom views. With Planner, we saw all of these predefined out of the box views that were ready to go for us to use. And unfortunately, with lists, that out of the box feature is just not there. We have to create each of these views individually. Now, they are fully customizable, which is a great advantage, but you do need to set them up. The second con that I wanted to discuss was the ability to copy a list. And at the beginning of the video, we saw that we can create a list from an existing list. And here we have that list that we are currently working on. So if we were to go ahead and create a list from this list, then unfortunately it's not as smooth as it is in Planner, because the only thing that will copy over will be these column headers and types. None of the content will be there. So depending on your needs, that may not be that advantageous to you. However, if you did want to copy a list and export these items, then what you could do is export your list to an Excel or CSV file. And then when you go to create the list, you can create it from that file. Again, it's just not as fine-tuned as it is with Planner. The third con that I wanted to highlight pertains to reporting. We saw in Planner that this chart view creates a lot of really nice visuals on the reporting of the progress of this plan. And unfortunately, that is just not built in with lists. What you could do is export your data to Excel once again and then analyze it there. Alternatively, you can export your data to Power BI to visualize the lists. Power BI is a great option to visualize your list. However, it will require an additional subscription. Another downside to the list at this stage is that it unfortunately does not integrate with loops. We are not able to easily insert this as a loop component into a loop page, but maybe we will see that in the future. The last con that I wanted to discuss was with regards to notifications. And as we saw at the beginning of this section, Microsoft has made some improvements to automatically set up some reminders as well as rules so that they are part of the initial setup procedure. But unfortunately, these do need to be set up manually in order to notify your team, for example, if column changes, a new item is created, or if an item is deleted. So also to note that these do not integrate with Microsoft Planner assigned to me or to do. There is some customization here, but it does just need to be set up manually and it will require some time. Before we move on to the summary, I wanted to show you one key feature that I noticed was missed in other videos, and that is the use of the mobile app. So if you're planning to use either the Microsoft Planner or the Microsoft Lists app, then taking a look at the app is a very important consideration, because for me, it was actually a key deciding factor when I decided to use one of these over the other. Here we are within the Planner app, and we can see that we can view all of our tasks by each of those buckets. We can even add new tasks here, as well as open and edit existing tasks as we see fit. Now, a great thing about the Planner app is that we can even visualize the status of our plan. Here we are within lists, and we can easily view our items, and I really like how it basically freezes that title column. And we can scroll on through and view all of the information, giving you a really nice bird eye view of the plan. If you'd like, you can even add additional columns right here from within the list, or even add new items. Additionally, if you would like to edit an item, I also really like the list app, because if you do have more content here, then you can sort the information by a handful of items. In summary, I have created this summary for you, so feel free to screenshot this page so that you can have it for your reference. Overall, Planner is out of the box, plug and play, ready to go. Whereas with Microsoft Lists, it is going to take a little bit of extra time to get set up because it is customizable. So I hope that I have provided you with some additional insights so that you can make the right decision on which app you are going to use. And why don't you drop me a comment below to let me know what features you enjoy in which of these apps so that I can, you know, get to know you a little better. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. I do hope that I've helped you discover your inner nerd today. And if you have made it this far, then please consider giving this video a thumbs up. And why not hit that subscribe button so that you can be notified on all of my newest uploads. All right, thanks again for watching. We will see you in the next video.